So starting this analysis by looking at the price action of Bitcoin in a daily time frame, we are aware in a daily time frame we are expecting some sort of a relief rally to play out for Bitcoin, because on my yesterday video I showed you guys with so many different examples, right? The first example was this simple scenario which is known as dead cat bounce, because according to this dead cat bounce we are expecting a relief rally at least towards this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, that is $45,000, and the next Fibonacci target level of 0.618, that is sitting around 48,400 price level. So right now if the price of Bitcoin is getting this relief rally, then our focus is going to be around this 2 Fibonacci line, that is 0.618 and 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. And why this relief rally actually could make a lot of sense before choosing an actual trend direction, because yesterday I told you guys if we are getting a relief rally at least around this 0.5 to 0.618 and also the price of Bitcoin getting a strong rejection around this area, we have to be very careful, because that could actually lead to a potential price pullback type of scenario. And finding support above this 0.618 could also indicate now we could see another impulsive move here in an upper direction, invalidating all the bearish scenario which we have talked so far. But this scenario here is just beginning, so that's why we are at the first step of this movement. This top here is the 0.1 area, this here is the 0.2, this is the 0.3. If we are going to see this relief rally, right, and there is going to be a decision point, because you can see here according to this dead cat bounce, price reacts to news and moves fast downtrending. The 0.1 price sees a correction, and after reaching this 0.2 we see a dead cat bounce. In a traditional market, this dead cat bounce is never going to close above this 50% Fibonacci retracement level, but in a crypto space, you know, the market is volatile, so that's why we are saying, hey, we are not just only going to focus at this 0.5 but also this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. So that's why if we are getting this relief rally just like as shown here in the dead cat bounce pattern, guys, then we could actually see an impulsive move at least towards this 45,000 to 48,000 before choosing a trend duration, because getting rejection from this 0.3 area or this Fibonacci level, that could potentially indicate, hey, now the trend here could be heading to the downside, because according to this dead cat bounce scenario, you can see here 0.1, 0.2 retracement and then an actual trend reversal here to the downside. So that's why we have to be careful, because right now if this is going to play out as a dead cat bounce, then we could still see before choosing a trend direction an impulsive move or relief rally at least around this 45,000 to 48,000 price level for Bitcoin. And not just only here by looking at this price movement, if you remember properly, I've also showed you with one very simple scenario here, because if you have watched my video, you know we did talked about this arc type of formation that was also pointing out that, hey, every time when we had this price movement after reaching the arc line, we saw strong resistance. So that's why we said, hey, even if this movement is not going to be like this and it's going to be more of a price movement in this manner, then that should also be absolutely fine, because we are aware if we are able to break out of this 0.5, then we are also breaking out of this curve here or this arc which previously acted as a strong resistance, because every time when the price reaches around this arc line, it finds a very strong resistance. So that's why right now we do have some strong resistance around this 45 to 48,000 price level. So let's see how the price of Bitcoin is going to do. Not just only because if you also look at these indicators here to the downside along with this price movement, this dead cat bounce scenario or this with the arc is reflecting that we could see some relief rally, but the trend here is still not bullish. But if you look at this price structure along with this Williams percentage error and the ATR normalized indicator, this is flashing some different story, because you can see here, as I've already told you plenty of time, whenever you see this Williams percentage error at around -95, right, and this ATR normalized at +95, that actually indicate, hey, now the market might be bottoming in very soon, because you can see here, when the Williams percentage error was around -95 and the ATR normalized was also at +95. So you can see both the scenarios, -95 +95 to the downside, indicated, hey, around this area the market might be bottoming in very soon. You can see after that we did saw a price pullback. Price is not that accurate, but it usually indicates around this price level the market might be bottoming in very soon. Because if you look at this similar scenario here, right, from 2020, the March month, when we had this black swan event, you can do the similar scenario here as well. ATR went above plus 95, and also here to the upside, the Williams percentage, yeah, was at minus 95. So boom, here it actually indicated, hey, around this area the market might have bottomed in. So after that, you can see we had some really nice impulsive move for Bitcoin, right? And if you look at this in the previous example from 2018, you will see Williams percentage here at minus 95, and also this ATR normalized at plus 95 indicated, hey, around this area the market might have bottomed in. We did saw two confirmation here, but even after this bottoming scenario, the price did show some sort of a reversal, right? Just like in our case right now, even though we got a bottom confirmation around this price level of 40,000, the price did saw this pullback around 30,000, and now we are hovering again around this 39,000 price level. So if this is going to play out like this year, or even if you go back here from 2018, you can see after that a new move started here for Bitcoin, right? So that's why right now these indicators are also flashing us that, hey, the bottom might be nearing very soon. So let's see if this relief rally is also going to make a sense, at least around this 45,000 to 48,000 price level for Bitcoin. And also here with the different scenario. So you can see here, guys, yesterday we did talk about this descending channel type of scenario playing out for Bitcoin, and also along with that, this inverse head and shoulder scenario. And if you look at this inverse head and shoulder, the price was not able to break out of this neckline, but you can still see here, right? If this scenario, let's say, it's going to play out and price is also going to continue here to the upper direction, you can see 45,000 was our upward price target, right? And also here in a daily time frame, we saw that 45,000 and 48,000 could also make a lot of sense. And now if you look at the price action, the price did got a rejection from the neckline area. So right now for Bitcoin, at any cost, what we have to do is break out of this neckline area, right? So this trend line here is very important line to break. So if the price of Bitcoin is going to break out of this line, right, then there is very likely scenario that we are going to see some impulsive move following for Bitcoin. And any sort of a price pullback, right, let's say if we are going to see a price pullback, and this is not going to play out as a relief rally type of scenario rather than a pullback type of scenario. So in that case, what I will be looking at is very simple, guys. You can see here this price movement, you can see this does looks like a very nice rising wedge type of scenario in a 4-hour time frame without this descending channel. You can see the price here actually has already broken down, right? If this is going to play out as a rising wedge, the price target here to the downside, in our case, right, you can see here the price target here to the downside could be again around this 34,000 price level. So that's why if this rising wedge is going to play out, 34,000 is our downward price target, right? And if this is actually going to play out as a continuation pattern with the inverse head and shoulder, and also this descending channel breakout scenario like this one here, let me add that one more time for you guys, right? The descending channel is there now, and if this is going to continue here, we can still see this here, and this here, right? Higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern could be playing out here. So that's why right now, as long as we are forming this higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern, that should be absolutely fine. Because if we would see any sort of a movement here to the upside, price finding rejection, right, and breaking down again, and also not finding support at this lower line area of this smaller rising channel, then we are going to look around this 34,000 as our next potential price target. Because I just showed you with this rising wedge type of scenario right here, that if that lower line is going to break out, then we could see a potential pullback type of scenario. So right now, as we can see, we are actually seeing some sort of impulsive move, and we are also expecting the price of Bitcoin to be above 40,000 and also find support above that. If that's going to happen, then definitely we are going to see some really nice impulsive move following. But any sort of rejection from this lower line area and price also breaking below that, then we are going to look around this 34 as our next potential price target here to the downside. So these are some of the scenarios I see right now looking at the price action of Bitcoin. If you enjoyed, then please guys hit the like button, and for those individual watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.